You see, more and more the blacks are realizing what I've said 5 years ago. Why have we gone from MGTOW to black pill? Why have the black women gone from wanting a white man to divest to just name calling other black females who are in love with black men? Why? Why is all this happening in this community? Because it's all for profit. These black YouTubers are not serious. These black internet people are not serious about advancing. More and more and more ADOS people are realizing some of the people they've been fans of for years, the Tommy Sotomayor, they're not advancing nothing. It's entertainment. And see, when you when you look at yourself as a fan of an entertainment black, when you look at yourself as a fan of an entertainment black, just chalk yourself up. You're not an intellectual. You're not a person trying to advance. And when the white people come against you, don't get mad because you're not mentally or intellectually feared. You're an entertainer. You are a fan of entertainment and gossip. That's all you're doing. You're not advancing anything. And more people are realizing the years of wasted time black folks have had by being entertained off complaining, being entertained off rumbles, being entertained off fights. That's why the white folks don't want you in their community, because that's all you're known for. That's why the white folks don't want you in the community, because that's all you're known for. Now you're having blacks overseas realizing that people who have left America and came to their country are doing the exact same thing they was doing in America. The exact same thing they was doing in America. The only difference is they're taking advantage of poor people. So the women go out and go get the poorest guy they can find just so they can control him. The men go out and get the poorest women they can find just so they can control her. That's all it chalks up to do. I saw an African guy with a Chinese girl, and they're living in a U-Haul trailer market. So they don't even have a house. He's not even providing a house. He has a business selling flea market stuff. And him, the Chinese girl, and his baby, his black baby, who he's going to have to protect. His black baby, who he's going to have to give information to. Because once he dies, that black baby is left to the world. And that Chinese community is not going to protect that Chinese and black baby. So he's going to have to provide knowledge, all that. But you know what he's doing? He's living in a U-Haul trailer. The same U-Haul trailer he sells stuff out of. Yet he wants respect from that Chinese community. It's crazy. Let's look at black women. You get black women who go over to other countries. They get with guys. I follow one girl, her and her Chinese dude having so many arguments because she wants to do what she wants to do. But that's not the Chinese way. The Chinese way is about an agenda. So even though he's a hip hop dude, even though he's, he loves black people, Chinese dude really do like black people, but he can't get this black girl to understand this is not about this is not about just doing what you want to do, black woman. You're a married woman now. We have an agenda. And it's hard for her to understand. This is what more and more black people are starting to realize, that the internet blacks are not serious about advancing. You want to go work for somebody, and you guys think that these white folks and Asian folks are going to respect you just because you want to go clean their toilet. Man, I make $100,000 a year cleaning toilets. Nobody cares about that. This is the crazy part of it. This is the loony part of it. We as black people have to start realizing we're adults. We're adults. That's what we have to start realizing. We're adults. We're not children. And we can't have children topics. When we sit up here and constantly have children topics, nobody respects that. But more and more YouTubers are finding out. More and more internet people are finding out. Black folks, we're not known for being serious about advancing. Black folks are not known for being serious about advancing their children. We want to be entertained. We want to be amused. And then when the people and their kids surpass us, the first thing we say is, why did that happen? First thing we say is, y'all should treat us fair. What are we doing? What are we doing? So now you get more expat guys are realizing that a lot of black guys over in other countries are not serious about doing business. Black expat guys cannot do business with black expat guys because black expat guys says the guys coming ain't serious or are always broke. What are we doing? But we live in this fantasy that everything is okay. We live in this fantasy that it's everybody else's fault. Let's go to the women once again. We're in this mindset, okay, that going after young boys and calling these young boys men is the thing to do. These young boys are not men. These dudes can barely take care of themselves. These dudes need help paying rent. No, very serious. Because if a dude didn't need help paying rent, he wouldn't be begging a chick to live with him. Nah, stay where you at. I'm going to stay where I'm at and we'll continue dating. No, he need to move in with the chick. I've been there when I was a young dude until I realized, wait a minute, no. I don't want to have these type of discussions. I need to run this thing so that when she comes into my place, I'm telling her, hey, look, this ain't how I get down in my home. A lot of dudes don't want that type of power. They want 50-50 arrangements. No, I got to have an 80-20 situation. My pad, my place. If anybody wants to come on and talk, that link is in the chat room. You see, I think what I'm trying to tell you guys is more and more internet people are realizing that black folks are not serious. More and more internet people are realizing black folks are not. These immigrants are coming and they're moving as monolithic. Everybody's monolithic except ADOS. Everybody. Nobody argues with their own people the way ADOS does. The black Londoners don't argue with they folks as much. The black Germans don't argue. The black French don't argue. The black Russians don't argue. Come on in, King Sigma. I need that. I need that intellectual energy, man. You see, more and more black dudes are realizing, King Sigma, that even the expat dudes are not doing business. You got expat dudes complaining that other expat dudes are broke all the time. Can't form no company. But this is what I've been preaching to you guys for 6 years. Bashing black folks is profitable. Bashing black folks makes money. That way you can sit in your apartment, you make like 5 G's a month, and you doing it. But you could have made that same money being a manager. And it can help you at 70 years old. Now, you got so many people making this internet money that once you guys hit the wall, because everybody hits the wall, even dudes, once you guys hit the wall and you don't have no skills, you'll be just like my 50-year-old friend working at Home Depot, making minimum wage. Because all those years, he was making hustle money. And he never had a career. Nobody wants to hear it. Now, black expats are complaining that other black expats don't have money. This is for real. Raw B.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing real good. Here's my topic for today. You have so many people talking about divest, talking about black community this, black community that. Now you have people in other countries, black Americans who have moved to other countries complaining that the new black people moving there are always broke, ain't trying to do no business, and just dating the poorest people in the country so they can feel like they winning. What are your thoughts?
Okay, can we keep it real?
Yes, please.
Black people in America, even when they move to other places, they don't want to take a look at self. You know, I always speak to self accountability. People don't want to look at what doesn't work in their family models, what hasn't been working generationally for the longest time. And it's easier and it's comfortable to be with people that are in the same financial struggles, or you know that you're a little bit higher than, instead of unifying together. Someone said to me the other day, oh, I'm sorry, my son is in here having a little bit of a moment. But someone said to me the other day, oh, I can't believe this black business owner is charging X, Y, and Z for their product, but they pay about that price or more going to another, you know, individual. And you always want to get a discount code in the black community. Oh, let me get the hookup instead of doing straight business. I don't know. I'm gonna be full of a lot of fire and brimstone because honestly, I'm tired of our people at this point. Like, I prefer to handle big business like this elsewhere because it's always something snaky. It's always something dramatic. Like, oh my God, I can't.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put you on mute for just a second.
Yeah.
King Sigma speak. You see, King Sigma, just what Raw B said. Black folks, the intellectual blacks are getting tired. I classify you and Raw B in the intellectual category. We're just getting tired because even when we hear the complainers go to another country, they still not building a movie theater. They still haven't built a Round Table's Pizza. They still struggling, and all they claim to fame is dating. King Sigma, what's your thoughts?
Man, damn, hearing a ADOS woman say what you just said, that's crazy, because in the 2 years I've been in this space, it seemed like no black woman was ever going to come around. But the fact that you're even starting to hear some black American women come to the realization that the culture that's been created over the last 40 years, it's a trash culture, man. It's a culture that doesn't produce winners. It's a culture that's been built on.
Don't produce winners. Oh man, we got to come back together. Go ahead, finish.
Well, it's considered a bad thing. I'm quite sure that by now you've heard about the old African Museum thing and this project about white values. I thought that was the niggerization of black people, specifically black men, in a way I haven't seen in my entire life. You got white professors, white media heads actually co-signing the niggerization of black people in 2020. So the big deal was made because a bunch of white professors and these museum curators had made the argument that things like logic, the scientific method, nuclear family models, and all these Western values, that they were specifically white values, that they were not black people's values, right? So if you're, and they were actually saying and implying, and these are professors, these are the highest paid like academics saying this, that if you utilize this as your mode of living as a black person, then you are white. And because those are white values, and that the opposite of white values are what basically we would call nigger values. So they're actually uplifting black redneck culture and saying that that's inherently black. That's the justifiable black culture, or what we call nigger culture. And that's where we're at now. So to hear a ADOS woman actually say that she can't take it no more, that tells me that we've definitely reached that point that you have been saying for a long time, that the great separation would come. And I think that what's happening is that with COVID, so many of like these like ideas that people were holding on to, they don't hold
water.
Yeah, they don't hold any water in a culture where people are looking out for themselves in a way that we have never seen in our lifetimes. So that's all I needed to hear. So when I hear an ADOS woman say what we've been saying, you've been saying it for, I guess you said 10 years. I've been hearing it for the 2 years I've been here. And now black women are starting to be like, yo, this culture, this shit is trash, because they're the ones that are going to suffer the most.
Well, but you know what? Look at it this way, and we're going to go back to Raw B. See, in Raw B's situation, she got a family structure. You hear her kid playing in the background, happy. Got a happy situation, which is the whole idea of existing on the planet. For your kid to be able to say, you know, me and my mom, Raw B, we fell out when I was 17, but 5 years old, man, a happy life. When I turned 40, me and mom got back together, and you know, I understood. She you know what she was trying to teach me. That's the whole part of life. But Raw B, King Sigma just said this. We're not producing winners.
We aren't. And let me tell you, because I want to piggyback off of what he said. Yeah, it's weird. Like, and what you said as well. Now, you guys see me, I have a whole family, I have a husband. If I talk about my husband, black women attack me and say that, you know, oh, I'm just stupid and vapid. And
wait. I'm sorry. Let me ask this question again. You mean white women?
No, black women.
I'm sorry. Let me say it again. You mean Ku Klux Klan white men are doing that to you?
No, black women.
Last time me asking. You mean dark-skinned, dusty black dudes are doing that to you?
No, it's the dusty black women.
Wow. Okay, go ahead. You got the mic.
Yes. They'll tell me that I'm not married. They'll tell me that I'm not as happy as I am. They'll tell me, well, since I'm so happy being a wife and mother, that I shouldn't have a professional life and I should just focus on being a wife and mother. They'll tell me I'm judgmental, and I'm like, listen, I already have the things that you say you want to attain. I'm just telling you how I got where I am. It wasn't overnight. I didn't come out of my mom's vagina like, ooh, everything's perfect. No, I had to grow up and learn some lessons in life. But listen, what I figured out over these past 2 years that I've been on YouTube, especially, is some people are just comfortable where they're at, and you have to leave them right where they are.
But even worse, Robbie, they want to infect you with their bad decisions.
Oh, they can't, because I'm no longer a teenager. Like, and that's another thing that I see in a lot of grown behind black people in these spaces. You're grown as hell. You have children that you have pushed out. You claim to be business people or whatever, but your mentality is stuck in high school. I've outgrown that. So other people's opinions don't faze me. And other people's attempts to, you know, involve me in their bad behavior, that doesn't faze me either. It's just, it's just sad, you know?
Here's my last question before we go back to King Sigma. So Do these women who attack you not realize while they're uttering your name that you're not really tripping off whether they breathing or not? You're not tripping off what their decisions are, that they're just trying to control you at that moment. That's something that always baffled me about black women on the internet. They kind of omit the stuff they say to people. They omit they omit what they initiate. And,
Right.
and it's like, hold on, you do realize that we were talking about sweet potato pie, and now you've changed it into King Sigma is evil. You know,
Let me tell you something. I know exactly why I bother a lot of black women. And it doesn't bother me. It just lets me know that I am a winner. I am not a size 2 person. I don't care if today,
ah,
yeah.
you go against the stereotype of what they believe. Yeah, yeah, you're not a bad looking woman, and you sing pretty good too. You
Thank
sing,
you.
yeah, yeah. I'm still waiting for that for that audio tape.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I'll record and mail it to you.
okay, because I have a H Town type of sound.
Oh
Uh,
shoot, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I do the early night talking about. I do that.
Yes, that's my
So
song.
so you have the faith thing going on.
That
Uh,
good little body rocking, knocking boots all night long. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we got to make the tape. But anyway, so going back to King Sigma, you just heard this woman say that many women are attacking her because she is succeeding with with a style and a way that the black woman is saying King Sigma only wants the size twos. King ain't no black man gonna listen to you, and she's achieved all that in spite of King Sigma. So you heard everything she says. What are your thoughts?
Well, I just think that what has happened is that, like, for women specifically, there's this expectation that they have to follow the herd. Women
Uh,
tend to be more, conscious socially than men are. That's
but
the,
wait. I've always said it's the white woman who taught them that, though.
she taught
The
them
white,
well. She taught
yeah,
them well.
the white woman taught them sisterhood, and the white woman never followed up on her part of the sisterhood.
Sure
Uh,
have.
when you get the mic back, Raw B, I'm going to ask you about that. But King Sigma, the white woman never followed up on the sisterhood she told black women she was going to be down for, and
Well,
and I don't understand that.
well, I understand it. If you just look at,
Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I got to say one more thing.
yeah.
And where are these white husbands? I see a
Oh,
lot of white boyfriends. I don't see a lot of dudes getting on one knee,
mhm.
making a video. You gotta Chrislyn Carrison, when I challenged her on that, she started pulling videos from Germany, France, Austria. Where are the American white men bending one knee? I just don't see it. Go ahead, King Sigma, and then
Well,
we'll get back to Raw.
you will have a better chance of climbing Swirl Mountain as an ADOS black woman as you will of finding Bigfoot or ET playing basketball at the park. But my whole thing has been that the white feminists, she sold them on an ideology, and they didn't understand that it was actually a weapon against black men. Now, what do I mean? When you look at the history of feminism since the 70s, the goal was to empower the white woman in order to take resources that were supposed to go to black men that would trickle down to black women in the protection and raising of the children.
No. You got to be incorrect because white women were hiring black women at an all-time high in the offices. Every place white women had power in the 1950s and 40s, they were hiring black women in droves, correct?
Very incorrect. And
Okay.
what's happened is that they putting a couple lesbians, a couple token black women in places that are visible, but the whole apparatus of like nonprofits, policy making, grant dollars, all of that's going to white women. But that's the bigger thing is that even though we've seen a rise in white single motherhood, it capped out way lower than what the black female is. So think about it. You got a black man and a black woman unit. in the 70s and 80s, well, basically up to about 82, so 67 to 82, there was a push to empower black men in the workforce. So all the affirmative action grants, entry into corporate jobs, government jobs was going to black men. The white men got uncomfortable with that because, again, as these white academics said, thinking long term is a white value. They telling us now. So they're looking at the situation like, if we got these black men here in the late 70s and 80s, all these black mayors representing the symbolism, eventually the younger black boys will see this and they'll have greater aspirations. The women will respect those men, and it'll create a better culture in the 90s and the 2000s. They said, we got to do something. So the white man got with his white wife, who calls herself a feminist to you, but it's really the same household. You know what? We're going to bring y'all in. We're going to pay you what we were going to pay the black men. Remove the black men now. Now that household that had an income from the white man of 100,000, now it's 200,000. Because that's
I'm sorry, sir. I got to cut you off. I got to get the woman, the intellectual woman's view on what you're saying, because it's too juicy, sir. Please hold your point. Rob B., what do you think about what this gentleman's saying?
I think that we have seen through history.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Rob B., welcome to the intellectual side of YouTube. Go ahead, Rob B.
I think we've seen that Caucasians have categorically relied on African American people from the inception. So yes, of course, they played a game of dirty pool. They said, "Oh, here, eat the carrot." Now letting you know that there was poison inside and you were going to die. I think that in regards to black women have been told they need to look like white women for so long that they have lost their self-identity. I think black women do a lot to be seen and recognized because they feel like they're less than, because that's what society has told them. And I came to YouTube to let sisters know, no, you're not less than. You're perfect just how you are. You can't let other people define you. You can't even let these policies and procedures like tell you what is supposed to go on. You just have to live your best life and live a life of valor and honor.
But doesn't that mean you have to vet men and pick well?
Yes, it does. And a lot of people.
How dare you? How dare you use logic? How dare you? Go ahead.
You know. All I could tell.
Yo, you a white woman. You a white woman.
Yes, I'm a white woman. But I've been married twice and I've been engaged a couple times more than that. And that's because I don't deal with brothers that don't bring to the table what I desire. My mother told me when I was a young child, never settle. So I never have. And a lot of people settle because they think that good looks, hard penis, and bubble gum make a good life.
Right.
I'm here to tell you, good looks and hard penis make a good night. That's it.
Look, and look on the guy's side too. Just because a woman looks well, and me and King Sigma have spoke about this, does not necessarily mean she needs to be in your circle. And what I found out early, sometimes the quirky woman, sometimes the nerdy girl, sometimes the girl with pimples ends up being a better long-time situation than the one that's really hot and that you hot and heavy for.
Those are the ones that I like the most. I found in my own experience, like the girl next door is what I call her. This is the cute girl. She's not Beyonce hot, but she's cute, she's pretty, and she takes good care of herself, and she's more well-rounded, and she's more able to like supplement you. My experience has been very good with that kind of woman. So don't get me wrong, your Beyonce type of female, those are the ones that just like when you look at them, like automatically they're like sexual aphrodisiacs. But in my real life experience, it's the women that I would consider like the 7.5 just raw prettiness. But then they may have a body that's like a fucking 10 because she's, with her background and her good upbringing and her education, she understands like good nutrition. She understands fitness. But more importantly, when a man comes into her life, she's not as quickly to disregard the value that you're adding, especially if she's a woman that's cute, but she's been single for some time. So I've had a lot of good experience with like your cute girl next door. My longest relationships have been with those women. Whereas the hottest women that I've been with, the sex was good for 1 or 2 times, but then guess what ends up happening? That moment comes when she's going to test your ass to see, can her raw sexuality turn you into a eunuch or a cuck?
Well, see, this is why I always say on my second or third date, I always evaluate a woman for her combativeness. I want to see if under pressure you can figure stuff out on your own. You can put our team before your concerns. And I ask these little slick questions during dates because I want to see how the white woman has gotten to your head. Do you believe in unity, or is it just a word that you say? Because number one, if you're a combative woman, or even one of my old friends that I just reunited with, very combative dude. Oh man, CA, I want to do business with you. I'll think about it, buddy. I don't want to be in a situation where that shatters our friendship. Oh man, but we can make money. I already got money. Just not concerned like that, man. And this is why I feel the black community needs to get to. The black community needs to start looking at itself and be like, what has my opinions really gotten me personally in life? When you go back to what Raw B has said and combine that with what King Sigma has said, what have our decisions really created? Yes, women do a lot of wrong things, correct. But if you're 2 years still in the red pill rage, what's the point? Because you're still going, and O'Shea said this, you're still going to your KFC job mad. That's not that black woman's fault. And if you're a black woman and you got a guy that you can't control, that might be your husband. Doesn't just because you got a dude who the whole happy thing really throws me off, because happy is something that you develop. It is not something that's just I walk into it and it just happens. Robbie.
I don't even think that happiness is something that you develop. I think that happiness is something that you work at. Because fully understand this, like before me and my husband got to the place of marriage, there was a break in our relationship. I think for 6 months, 1 year, we didn't even talk to or see each other. But in that complete stopping of the relationship, like this doesn't, this not going where I wanted to go, I'm out. That made him reevaluate himself and make decisions whether he wanted to, keep a queen or keep chasing clowns. And we wrapped up and we here 4 years married later, but I say that to say this: life is full of ups and downs. When you get married to someone, or when you want to be in a serious, sustainable relationship with someone, you better know that you're gonna have to put up with some days where that person has attitudes and they don't want to be bothered. You're gonna have to put up with that person when they're sick. They're gonna have to put up with you when you're on one. Do you have what it takes to work it through? And with the advent of social media and all these damn dating apps and the swipe left and people being concerned with their genitalia instead of their finances, people make dumbass decisions every day. Excuse my language. They make dumb decisions every single day. And I'm not even going to say dumb decisions. What I will say is this. When you are deciding the value of your life, if your value is only what's between your legs, male or female, right, you're not going to get but so far. You have to encompass more than that.
Let me interject, because the whole point of me doing the stream was just that. If you got people going to other countries and still having the same issue, still financially in the same place, but they're smiling more. People liked Charles, the guy who started the whole thing of traveling, but he had 2 baby mamas back in the USA. He had more than 2 children back in the USA. And when you got to do a GoFundMe to bury a guy, you can tell me, oh, that don't mean he didn't have the money. Huh? What
Huh?
what's the need in doing that? That's a sign that something is wrong. That's the sign that somebody got to flip the bill. Well, if you're in Brazil, are your Brazilian friends putting up the money? Or are they burying you in Brazil? Or do they have to ship the body back? Oh, we got to ship the body back. But wait a minute. That's only a couple of G's. That's only maybe 3 G's, maybe 4. Y'all can't put together 4 G's? You got to do a GoFundMe? This is the crazy thing that I don't understand about the internet blacks. We live in a facade, King Sigma. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's why I jumped on before I go to get my workout, man. I was like, wow, he's talking about the discovering black YouTubers are not serious about advancing. And with me, I've reached that 2-year mark where I see that. And I've told people that I just see a cycle now. And I guess that's what it is in these spaces. It's about a 2-year cycle, an 18 to 24 month cycle. And I tell people I'm off that cycle now. I'm not going back into this pook because the next phase will be Pookie and Ray Ray versus the Classic Man in about 2 or 3 months. So now we're at the point of the cycle where it's about
wait. It'll be the zebra pill.
Yeah. So it's like now everyone it's all about the game. So we're just about 3 months away from going back and starting the cycle over, and the whole thing will be about Pookie and Ray Ray versus Classic Man. Me, I'm off. I'm out. That's why me hearing a black woman come on here and say what you've been talking about for 10 years and what I've been listening to for 2 years, I know now that we've just reached that breaking point and it's not much we could do. And I think what is happening is that some people, because we don't have the ethics, and a lot of people, they don't have a personal ethics. See, a lot of people have this mentality that amoral to immoral is the standard. Their spectrum runs between amoral to immoral, whereas there is actually something called ethics.
Wait. Let me even break it down even further. We got the entertainment blacks and we got the blacks that are trying to advance. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
And the entertainment blacks want to complain at the same time hiding behind the advancing blacks, saying, oh, we're all the same. No, we're not. This is the great separation. We got to take the wheat away from the chaff. Some of you dudes just want to shuck and jive and complain for profit. Some of you women, you want to stir little girls up to be mad at black men for profit. But that has a 10 to 20 year culture change in the mind of those people listening. And once they realize, like King Sigma, you're saying, that all this conversation has been for nothing, then the Indians now own your house, your grandmama house, and you're being put out on the streets or being forced to move 2 hours away from where everything is at.
Uh-oh.
Just to live a good life.
Uh-oh, you just put them on blast, because a perfect example of what you just said is that in the middle of one of the most critical election years, at a time when blacks, for a very short moment, we're talking about reparations, you just had the Supreme Court say, you know what? After 200 years, we're going to give back half of the state of Oklahoma to the Native Americans, right? Just like that, snap of a finger.
Just like that.
But here you got all these blacks who had a great opportunity to build something similar, but the moment of truth came and they went into a civil war. And now what they've done, they've crowbarred these other groups into what was a growing grassroots movement amongst black men and black women that really are concerned about what the future is for blacks. And now you got all this confusion. So I'll give you the best example and I'll get a mic back. So we had ADOS, then we had FBA, and now the white media, using a couple of their black pawns and their non-ADOS pawns, have created a term called BIPOC. Now, what does BIPOC mean? It stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color. So they took what was supposed to be something that was built over 400 years of inherent racial terrorism and oppression, and now they've integrated all these new immigrants and indigenous Indians who, guess what? When they did that decision from the Supreme Court and they gave that tribe half of the state of Oklahoma, did they say anything about black people in their BIPOC? No, it was indigenous Oklahomans. So we know now that the game is pretty much a wrap for the black majority, and it's a really in your save yourself thing.
Sir, I got to interject. And you know why they didn't mention? Because this is a slap in the face to the Buffalo Soldier. Because remember, the only reason Oklahoma fell into the hands of white people is because the Buffalo Soldier went out there risking the heat to fight the Indians and get that for the white man.
Yeah, they use the Buffalo Soldiers, and we don't hear nary a word about the Buffalo Soldiers in this day and age. They were the ones that they did all the dirty work out west, and that's why so many black towns popped up out west, because a lot of the
Buffalo Soldiers
families, they started their families out there. Other people came because they had a security mechanism in place, something that the black majority doesn't have now for themselves. And it's just weird to see the black people, like you said, all they're concentrating on is dating. But it's like this whole argument about game. And I keep asking brothers, like, what is all this game built? I grew up in a family with guys that had quote unquote game, but game was about manipulation for getting laid. That's it. It was a measuring contest to see who can fuck the most women, leave behind the most kids without the most
which ultimately fulfilled Massa's dream.
Yes.
All Massa taught on the plantation. I'm sorry, Rob B want to get in. Go ahead, Rob B.
I'm gonna need y'all to understand one thing about reparations. Until we force them to remove from the Constitution that we are 3/5 property, they're never gonna pay black people reparations. We property, don't y'all get it? And I say this all the time, and people try to say that Amendment 14 ratifies and overrules that statement, but the language is still there.
Still there.
So
well, you know what, Rob B, I believe black people would have had way more by now if, one, they had a state segregated, and two, if so many black dudes would stop joining the military.
Well,
the military has got nothing for the families of these black dudes.
That's not true.
No. I'm not saying every black dude. I'm saying as a whole. Because if the families benefited, then you would have more children part of the credit unions and things of that nature. Yes, I will admit there are some black families, maybe 100,000, maybe 250,000, who have benefited. But when you look at a lot of people who have been guys who have been connected to the military, their families are not doing well. But go ahead with your thought.
But that's because a lot of people don't do the research. Like, I am a military brat. My mother and my father were in the military. A lot of my education was paid through the GI Bill. I belong to a credit union. I have pretty great, insurance for a whole multitude of things and what have you through said credit union. But again, a lot of people, when I'm talking to people about it, because I know their family are military members, they're like, oh, really? That's out there? Oh, really? That's out there? But I do my research, and people are lazy. Black people, I don't know if it is a rebellious angst against the years of slavery and oppression, that as a whole, people are just like, oh, all right, you said this, so we're going to rock with that. And that's not okay. Just like
no. That's exactly what it is. Black folks in this internet age, they hear a piece of information and they just roll with it. They don't go read it.
Yep. See, and there it is, right there. It's that whole sound bites, headlines, over emotionalism.
Well, it's the entertainment blacks.
Well, I think blacks. That's again, like I just said. Even the white academics are coming around to saying that is black culture. Nigger culture is the ADOS black person, and unfortunately, black people that are not niggers, it's time for you to redefine yourself, because
great separation.
Because they said it. It will be one thing. I get it that black people say, well, you're
not saying it. You're not saying it. This is what white intellectuals who are in power.
That's what they're saying.
Are now saying, and there's not enough of us intellectuals to compete with what they're saying.
But the blacks are okay. The majority of blacks are co-signing this shit. They're saying, yeah, we agree that you should lower all the standards. We agree that you should take math out of the schools. I'm like, am I living in like the Twilight Zone? Am I literally hearing black academics join with white academics and saying that?
Sir, I told you guys years ago, the anti-blacks will rise. Those are people with black faces whose main goal is to get a little bit of coin from speaking blacks in the negative and whites in the positive.
It's crazy. And then it's like I was saying on,
Wait,
on
wait,
Go ahead, go ahead.
In regards to the money, first of all, I want to say this. I'm super pissed off that there's only a handful of people in your chat, because if you was in here talking about some bull on some, you know what I'm saying, some nonsense, it would be full up. And this is a problem in our community. This is education. This is things that people want to know, but they don't want to be educated. And the money that these people are making on these spaces is really pennies. And that's how you know people have never seen any real money.
Yep.
$3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month is nothing. That is usually a family's household bills, not entertainment, not luxury, not fun. Just the normal running of the house costs $3,000 to $7,000 a month for a family of 4. You're not seeing no money.
None.
I would make my living off of YouTube, man. If I had to make my living off of YouTube, that would not be much of a life to me, because you would have to go to such extremes to maintain the income. Most black men would be better served gaining some marketable skills that are essential and getting some benefits, and they can pretty much get a better looking woman than 99% of black men on YouTube.
Let me interject and say, I tried to teach people back in the day when I had the popular channel Brotherhood Lessons. I had 22,000 subscribers. And I tried to tell people, because we got some pictures of Tommy Sotomayor house that he was renting. And all the entertainment blacks could say to me, Raw B and King Sigma, was, but look at his house. I said, sir, there are many mansions out in the middle of nowhere that people will rent to you for $1,000 a month. Man, you can't get all that for $1,000. Sir.
Yes,
people,
you can.
That people own homes in the middle of nowhere, close to no freeway whatsoever.
It's called Airbnb, man.
Right. And if this is before Airbnb came about. And I said, sir, if I rent you a home, you're basically serving as my security and caretaker while you pay me. So why not rent you my mansion for $1,000? You know what I'm saying? It's nothing.
Exactly. People that rent, they're just trying to get that mortgage payment covered and a slight little overhead profit in case you tear up their property.
That's it.
Your bills for them.
YouTube
but the entertainment blacks kept telling me, no, Tommy owned that home until he went and got his 3rd house. Oh, now y'all realizing that he's leasing these things. Well, then they had a picture of Tommy, and Tommy in one of the homes, nothing else was furnished, just this one room next to the kitchen. Now, this goes to what King Sigma just said. Tommy was living in this one room where he painted the wall, just the one wall where his equipment was, and it was right next to the kitchen. He had no other furniture. So one day he took a video, him walking through the house because he thought somebody had got in there. No furniture to be found. And I made a picture, a video of this, and I showed everybody. See, when you are living off of YouTube, you can't be furnishing your house. You can't live. You have to be in one room and do what you do. I mean, some people. Let me just say some people.
Look, man. Here's what you're saying, and you ain't said it yet, Mr. Research. Suzanne Wojcicki runs this shit, man. And her team. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
This is how I learned a lot about American blacks from this YouTube thing, man. Because I really didn't really see it in my real life, because I think in real life we live in a tighter bubble.
Me too.
Associate with people that are more like us in real life. But I found that, like you were saying about the reading thing, black people, man, it's unfortunate, but anything that's shiny, anything that sounds good, they will believe, because they don't want to do the work themselves. And then what they do, they start claiming blocks like we're in Chicago, right? So it's like, I own this block, I'm a vice lord. I own this block, I'm against the disciple. But guess what just happened yesterday? Trump just sent in the federal troops over state law, over state law, over local law, and said, not only do you not own your blocks, your own mayors and governors can't check me. He just went in there and started arresting people just like that, because he can, because of the amount of power that's accumulated into the executive branch since the murder of Kennedy. We have a president, a sitting president, that just sent troops into a large American city and started arresting people, and they're doing it in Portland now. What is your governor saying in Illinois? Nothing. What is the mayor saying? She's giving like lip service, but what is she doing? Nothing. So Black people in America, the majority, got real problems. But again, we're involved in pettiness. We're involved in like putting crowns on our head that are unearned, that have no real backing to it. And then we all gonna look up in, let's say, the year 2025. We already see that it's about 80%. There will be like 10% of the people that are in the position that we're in right now having this conversation that are prepared and that will be able to get to the other side. But the other 90%, like you were mentioning before I got on, they're going to be living on some FEMA reservations out in fucking Stockton, California, middle of Montana somewhere on a goddamn FEMA farms. But they're not talking about that.
Let's give it to Raw B. We're going to start winding down because my painter is here, and I got to check my painter because he's doing the stairs. Listen to this before Robbie says what she's going to say. The great separation is here. The Blacks who are self-maintained, family-minded will survive. There's going to be an increase in Black homelessness because what Trump has done to the economy is going to fall on whoever the next president is. If Trump wins again, it will fall on his presidency toward the end. You're going to see a lot of people not be able to take care of themselves because, like I said before, everybody's monolithic. That's the purpose of a family, so that you guys can take care of each other. But if you believe you're going to be single forever, if you believe you're going to be a Crip in blood forever, if you believe you're going to be a vice lord or a disciple forever, you're joking yourself. White people from Cleveland have failed. From Michigan have failed, and their children are looking for a new place to stay. It's your neighborhood, and putting you out is their goal. Go ahead, Robbie. You got 2 minutes.
Okay. First of all, gentrification is real. If you guys haven't been aware, they have been gentrifying multiple neighborhoods across the country and pushing Black people out in the first place. Second of all, I want to say, Tommy Sotomayor is all right, man. Don't be so hard on that man. You know, he speaks a lot of good information in the middle of his entertainment. You just have to catch what he's saying. And as part of like these FEMA camps all over the place, you guys should check out Zeitgeist movies, Zeitgeist Addendum, and all the, the sequels that came after that. But the reality is they've been telling you what's coming. If you've watched The Hunger Games, if you watched The Handmaid's Tale, this whole entire planet is going to be divided into sectors. And you're going to be running around like we was in an 1812 sitcom with raggedy rags on your body, barefoot in the dirt, trying to scratch a living out. Buy some silver, buy some gold, buy some palladium. Buy tangible goods that you can take with you and you can carry if you need to. They're in these grocery stores, they're telling you they're not taking cash anymore, that we have a coin shortage. Why are they doing that? Because we're about to go to digital currency. NWO, ladies and gentlemen, wake up. That's it.
All right.
Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate you coming in. Tune in next time when we have a full panel, and welcome to the intellectual side of YouTube where we talk about something bigger than dating.
Yes.
King Sigma, give me your last 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me up. I guess my closing statement would be that every Black person in America should be on high alert to the idea that they are saying that it's okay to niggerize the Black American population to thunderous applause and to the woke identitarian mob, that your son and your daughter cannot learn. So we're going to lower the standards for your group to give you a certificate that says that you passed something. But guess what? In the real world, it don't work like that. When that Indian comes in for that job, that everyone gives the benefit of the doubt that, oh, these people have high standards. They're going to look at you. You may have high standards, but because they were allowed to give the public image that Black people are inferior and must be judged by the lowest standard, they're going to hire that Indian. They're going to hire that Asian. They're going to hire maybe even the biracial, especially if their father's white. because they're gonna what will have happened is that the culture will have defined you as a nigger. So they'll say, yeah, you can go to school. We'll let you into this program. We'll even let you live in this building. But when you come before for that job interview, we're not going to be able to take you because we already are going to assume that you are the inferior product and that your households have produced losers and inferior products. So I mean, I've been saying this to you since I met you, Mr. Research, on here, and now I'm 100% convinced that the only way is to go forward and not look back, and then just to establish your own code based on what you can draw from Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy. And the reason I said it is this: my argument is that if there's one thing that threads the ADOS person, it would be the theme of in search of identity. And that's kind of been like our Achilles heels as ADOS people, because the only thing that defines us is this American context and what has happened to us as a lineage group. But as a real ethnic group with tradition that we can hold on, that we defined and made with our own agency, that is not in existence. So the search for identity has been our Achilles heels. And because of mishandling and bad decisions over the last 2 or 3 generations, that won't hold us together anymore, because all these other identities have come into the picture.
So in conclusion, black folks, what you gonna do? When I saw in France, 1992, white Frenchmen just decided they were not going to hire no more black people, that they were only going to hire Africans and Ethiopians. And now you can't find many black Frenchmen anymore.
Damn.
What you going to do, black people, when you're talking about go get a trade? But in 1993, December of 1993, I'm living in England, and I see the Indians come to power in England, to the point where the white English start calling them Packies because they was frustrated with them because they were going against English code. And then the Packies start having actual African slaves in their house cleaning their house, because that's the caste system they came from. What you going to do, black people, when they say, you know what, we're only hiring our own? What you going to do, cry? You going to complain? Go ahead, Raw. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, because that's some real stuff. Like, I just watched something earlier today when it talked about how black people are vilified when we say choose your own and love your own. But when other nationalities do it, that's okay.
It's all good. But it's only black people saying that about black people.
Because we property.
I work in corporate. When I tell you more black women have pushed against me than anything, and it's like, why do I have white people trying to help me against black people? This is ridiculous. But this is the great separation I've been talking about. You got these people who have held us back for so long with this pseudo intellectualism, and none of it's applicable. So in conclusion, I got to go to my painter, but in conclusion, you guys understand this. What's happening right now, and what triggered me to make this video is because even O'Shea just realized a lot of you blacks are not serious about doing stuff. Y'all talking about it, but you're not serious. The trucking industry is going to get taken over by Indians. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. The black women is already getting pushed out of the office place. You go to an office now, you barely see a black woman, and then you find out she's African. Y'all playing games, man. Your own black daughter is fighting for a security job with your black son. Your own black daughter is dreaming of being a handy woman. I just had a conversation with a woman on my dating app. Girl's 29, talking about she want to fix cars. Why do you want to fix cars? You come from a family of car makers or engineers? No, I just like cars. Oh no, I can't date you. There's no future in this. Your body's gonna break down, and then I'm gonna have to take care of you. No, I don't need a woman that fixes cars or has a passion to fix cars. I can't bond my medical financing career with someone that's fixing cars. I'm good. I'm good. Now, if you was in NASCAR or something, maybe, but you just want to be a mechanic because you feel like it. Nah. So this is why I say, you guys, the great separation is happening. Thank you for listening. And whatever y'all do with it, y'all do with it. But we got black people who have moved from America, still in other countries, not creating businesses. We got Africans who are over here telling us black folks what we should be doing, but they haven't built a movie theater in their country in the past 20 years. And they just busted the guy from Gambia stealing millions of dollars. We're doing it to ourselves. Have a good one, you guys. Peace.